Hello and welcome to the College at Mid-America. I'm Dr. Mikey Mewborn, and I will be your professor for the course Leadership Development. This is a wonderful course, and you're going to get a lot out of it. But my role here at Mid-America, I'm the Associate Dean of the College at Mid-America, as well as the Campus Life Director. And so I get to do many different things in the lives of our faculty, our staff, and our students here at Mid-America. I want to take a moment and share with you our syllabus for this semester. So if you will, you can pause the video at this time and go ahead and get that syllabus out, and you can track along with me. This is the course Leadership Development, PM 4270, and it's a 3-hour course. This happens in the spring semester of 2021. The class for our residential students that live in the Memphis area, we will meet on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 12:30 to 1:20 p.m. And so it's a wonderful time for us to get together. Our online students, as well as other students, will be able to use Moodle and be able to navigate through the class very easily, as well as other accommodations will be made for other students. So it's good to be with you today for this course. Again, I'm Mikey Mewborn, love Mid-America. I'm a two-time graduate, and so it's exciting to be a part of this side of things where I'm not just learning and growing from a student perspective, but also now as a professor. Now let's walk through the course description and course objectives. Course description: a study of leadership development in a local church context. Emphasis is given to personal leadership development and developing of other leaders. Now the course objectives. The course is designed to be highly interactive in exploration of the philosophy, administrative principles, and practical implementation of leadership in the church. The student involved in this discovery learning process should be able to The student will understand and articulate the characteristics of a servant leader, especially as it relates to the local church. Next, the student will evaluate his or her own leadership ability and seek ways to grow as a leader. And then the student will develop his or her own leadership philosophy and approach to developing other leaders. Next, the student will become knowledgeable in the different theories of leadership and how they apply in working or a ministry setting. And then lastly, the student will understand how diversity, technology, and globalization has changed the landscape of leadership in business and ministry. The course will be highly interactive and necessitates that all participants engage in dialogue with the issues and concerns under discussion. This is one of my favorite courses to teach because it helps us to understand what's going on behind the scenes, if you will. So if it's a church context, if it's a nonprofit, if it's something that involves just an organization that helps people, how do you lead in those areas? How do you lead? How do you oversee something? And so there's going to be a lot of training about leadership in general, but then also in certain contexts. So we're going to look at those things. Next is course requirements. Number one, I need to know that you have read this syllabus. And so we're going through it right now, so it's a great time for you to go ahead and read through it, but also make sure that you let me know that you have read through it. There's a couple of ways to do this. Number one, there is a syllabus signature page in this document that you can print off for us and that you can either give to your facilitator or you can hand in to me. Also, if you're online, you might want to just send a message to me that says, I have read the syllabus in its entirety. Next, I want to talk about required reading. So the reading for this course is simple. It's going to come from mainly two different areas. Number one, you're going to be required to read the book, The Leadership Challenge, which is the 5th edition by James Kouzes and Barry Posner. And so this is a wonderful book to help you understand what leadership is really all about. But also, you're required to read 100 pages from the bibliography in the syllabus. And so you can work with me on what that's about, or you can work with your facilitator to know what that's about as well. And so there's a couple of ways to make sure that you accomplish these goals and fulfill these requirements. For the class, I'll be using the English Standard Version of the Bible, and so I'll be using that throughout the course mainly, especially for PowerPoint slides, and if I start quoting some passages, a lot of times I'll use the ESV for that. Now, there's a couple of different things that we need to look at. Number one is class participation, and so this area is mainly for our residential students, and it's very important that y'all understand that you have you're allowed a maximum of 9 absences. This is the key. So whether you're coming to class, you need to make sure that you're coming to class and you don't miss more than 9 times. But also when you are working online or working with a facilitator, you need to make sure that you do not have more than 9 absences. And so you're going to love the class so much, you're not going to have any absences. I know that for sure. But just in case, we're very strong in this rule. Make sure that you not miss. If you miss more than 9 times, you're subject to failure of the course. So make sure that you are there and take care of all the attendance requirements needed, whether residential or online. The student should refer to student handbook for seminary attendance policies and college at Mid-America policies. Next, the exams. Each student will complete both a midterm and a final examination. The final exam will not be comprehensive. The exam schedule is shown in the attached schedule, so you'll see that ultimately I give a midterm and a final exam. Is that it's all based on the material that's given up to that point, so it's really simple. And those exams will you won't have any problem taking those. They will be Moodle examinations, and so you will go in, you'll take the exam. There'll be multiple choice, true and false, short answer. Matching possibly. It's really simple, and you'll know your grade for at least the true and false, multiple choice, those types of things right away. And then I will have to go back and probably grade the short answer things. So it's really simple, but you'll need a proctor for this, which means you need to secure someone who's going to watch you take the exam, going to be with you. You can possibly use a faculty member, a staff member. You use someone at your church. It's not supposed to be a family member, so make sure that you work with us on that proctor agreement, okay? So you'll need a proctor for those things, all right? Let's look at the class project, also known as the term paper, if you will. The student will write a 10-page, completed pages, double-spaced paper related to topic from the class. All topics must be cleared by the professor. The student must write using the MLA handbook, 8th edition. You must have a minimum of 8 sources. Half of those sources must be books, especially on that topic. You may use credible scholarly journals and websites. Wikipedia, personal websites, and blogs are not to be used as scholarly sources. Each paper all papers should use 12-point Times New Roman font. The instructor's selected bibliography will be very helpful for you as you write this paper, give you some ideas of other people that have talked about these things or written about these things. The paper must be original to this course, 10 full pages of text, plus a works cited page. The paper is due based on the course schedule. You'll see that in just a minute. Late papers, 5 points per day. This is very important. And papers will be graded using the paper grading rubric in this syllabus. So know about that. And the paper is worth 25% of your grade. Okay, now honor code. This is a big deal. I always admonish our students. I warn them to be careful when writing papers. Do not plagiarize. If you take material from someone else, if you use someone else's material, or you get an idea from somebody else, just reference that. If you're quoting them verbatim, just put quotations or marks around it and reference it. If you're getting an idea from them, just footnote that or put that in parentheses. This is where I got this idea. So reference that. It's very simple. Another thing there with honor code is cheating. We want to make sure that there's no cheating going on at Mid-America and of course in this course for us. So make sure that your work is original to you. And also when you are taking tests and things like that, do not cheat. Do not cheat. You'll be subject to failing the class if any of these things are found out. So make sure that you know that. Next is the book review. Each student will write a 3 to 5 page book review about the book, The Leadership Challenge. The student should follow the guidelines of the book review worksheet in the syllabus. So that's pretty simple. And then I want to talk a little bit about posting. And this is our online students. It's so meaningful to us that we can offer this course in an online format. The one way that we can connect with you is through the interactive forums. And so you are required to post comments online for each class session for their participation grade. So you've got to do this. Students should respond to both questions posted by the professor and respond to at least one post by another class member. And this is for each class. Posting fewer than 3 times per week will result in a lower grade. And so these posts must be submitted or are posted before Sunday night, 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that's each week. They've got to be in by that amount of time. And so what I would say is, for each question like that I will post, as well as a post from another student, just write 3 to 5 sentences about that. And it'll be that simple, and you'll be able to get credit for that day, and you also get credit for participation. So make sure that you know about that. Next, all students are required to use Grammarly software for work submitted in class. Make sure that you use Grammarly. That's going to help you immensely for your grade and doing better on all writing projects. Late assignments. Just don't be late with assignments. There is you'll be penalized 5 points per day with late assignments. So make sure those are in on time, or that's going to really hurt your grade. Also, missed examinations. I don't expect anyone to miss the examinations because you'll have plenty of time in an online course to make sure it's done well, done correctly, and be able to finish it. And so usually with examinations, it's as simple as this. I'm going to post when, or upload the time when the exam will be, and you'll know that, so it'll open up at a certain time. At that time, your proctor will be given instruction, or before that, your proctor will be given instruction on how to take the exam and what you need to do and how to get into the exam. They'll give you all of that while they're there with you, and then you will take the exam. You'll probably be given an hour to 2 hours to take the exam, just depending on how long it is, or the quiz. The same thing will be for the quizzes. And so you will take the exam, and then once it's uploaded, it's final. That's what it is. And so you'll be given probably with a period of 5 days to take the exam, midterm or final exam, and so within that period of time you'll have to take it. With the quizzes, you will not need a proctor for the quizzes, but you will need a proctor for the midterm and the final exam. So I don't expect you to miss exams, so that shouldn't be an issue for you. But if you are out of town for that week or something like an emergency, just email me, let me know. Class grading. Here's how it's broken down. Participation, 10%, midterm, 20%, final, 20%, paper, 25%, assigned reading, 15%, book review, 10% of your grade. Very, very simple there. And just make sure that you get everything in on time. That's the big deal. Let's look at grade point averages, how they're determined. It's a 10-point grading scale. So an A plus is a 97 to 100, an A is a 93 to 96, and then A minus is 90 to 92, and then you get a B plus, 87 to 89. You see how that plays out there. The one major point about this is that a student must earn full percentage point for each grade. For example, an 89.7% is not a 90. It'll be treated as an 89, which is a B plus. So that's important. You must earn the full percentage point to be able to get that grade. Next is class schedule. We are hoping to follow. This is the template for the class. This is our plan for the course, and we are going to follow this as closely as possible. You can see what's expected for your reading. Well, first, let's just begin with the week on the left-hand side of your syllabus. You get the week 1, what's going on. We've got a course and syllabus overview, and then we jump right into the course. And so we see the topic of the day, we see the date, and we see the reading assignments. Or reading and assignments. And so for the first week, the reading will be Romans 12 and 1 Corinthians 12. And so that's what's expected to be read that week. And then you get into week 2, and you can see Kuzis and Posner, pages 1 through 40. And then there will be a quiz that week. Go into week 3, and you see the reading as it continues on. Week 4, another quiz. And then we'll get to the midterm examination, which is March the 4th. And so that'll lead us right into, after that exam, lead us right into spring break. No classes, March 8th through the 12th, and then we'll jump back in on March the 16th, and so we'll continue on as you see in your schedule. Book review is due on April 22nd. Term papers are due on May the 4th, and then reading reports are due on May the 6th, and then you have a final exam May the 12th. So here's your course. It's very simple, straightforward, but I really think you're going to enjoy these lessons. I think you're going to enjoy interacting with other people about these as well, answering some questions, some tough questions too, some things that you really got to think through. How do I do this? Next, you're going to see a bibliography, and this is just a collection of works that I've used over the years, as well as some wonderful resources just to help you along with your paper. And then as you continue on your syllabus, the next thing you'll see is a grading rubric for your papers. It is so important that you write well. And the way to writing well is to revise and edit your paper. So it's not just writing, it's rewriting. So you first come up with your ideas, you start putting them down, collecting resources, all of that. And then after you have finished really writing your paper, go back and rewrite or read it again. Read it and then start rewriting to strengthen it. A few ways to do that is, number one, make sure that your formatting is correct with the MLA style. That's number one. Just make sure that it's formatted correctly. If you have any questions, you can ask me or ask your facilitator, or definitely look into the handbook for the MLA style of writing. So that's one thing that's important. Another way to really improve your writing is to use action verbs instead of passive verbs, passive voice verbs. So a passive voice verb is, are, was, were, things like that. So some people might write something like there was, there is, there are, or it was, it is. That's a very passive voice, and that's really unacceptable in many styles of writing. And so what we try to do is change the is, restructure the sentence so that you're putting in an action verb. An action verb shows that someone is doing something, okay? Such as the boy ran across the street. The word ran is an action verb. It shows that the subject, the boy, is doing something. He ran. And instead of using he is running, which is putting a passive spin on that, and it's not as strong as a sentence. And so work on that as you write. Okay. The next thing is the online posting rubric, and this is how your rubrics will be, or this is how your online posts will be graded. So I'll look at them that way. So make sure that you post and do well. It doesn't need to be very long, maybe 3 to 5 sentences at the most per post, and that's how I'll be looking at that and checking your grades for that. The next thing is your reading report. I need to know what percentage of the reading you have completed. So you need to read the book, The Leadership Challenge, as well as 100 pages of other sources. And so have you completed all that? Please let me know that, or let your facilitator know that. Next is syllabus signature page, and I've already shared about how to do that. And lastly, I believe it is the book review, and this shows you what the book review should look like. All right, so it's pretty simple. You need to identify the book, the thesis of the book, the summary, and then give an evaluation interaction with you in light of that book. And so make sure that you do that in line with the book review template there. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to being a part of this class with you. It's so wonderful to see what God has for us as we jump into the course Leadership Development. It's going to be with you. God bless you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.